What is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. It is Tuesday, August 11th. I don't know how I keep drawing the big game straws, but we have 7 games on the slate. So this is going to be an interesting one. Kind of want to go over a little bit of strategy before I get into the picks. So we saw just absolute shit show yesterday in terms of injuries, scratches, resting. Oklahoma City before the tip rules out almost all the team except for CP3, the one guy that you think that could get load managed. I ended up staying away. Just was terrified that he wouldn't play the second half, and that's what we saw. But I ended up getting on Utah, thinking that they would care, and then they sit the entire second half. Giannis ruled out. I can't even think about the DeAndre Ayton saga, just some crazy stuff. So this is what I want to go over just in terms of the rest of the week. We only have 2-3 games left for most of these teams. And here's what I will just tell you is going to prevail. Focus on the teams that need to win to stay in, and that those studs are going to get the minutes. So I'm going to go over all those games. But it does not mean to discount the teams out of things. Just do not play their stars. Do not play their veterans. Play the young guys that need the opportunity, the guys who are going to step up, that are just playing for a contract, all these things. And I'm going to go over those spots, hopefully, pretty well for you guys and kind of what I'm thinking based on the standings. And let's see if we can just really get into some great builds. I do think there's a ton of ways to go today. I'm pretty excited about the slate. So without any further ado, let me do the marketing plug and then get into the picks. So make sure that you hit the bottom right, the subscribe button. All of our content on this YouTube channel is free. We really need the support to get us to our next goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. And if you're interested in more premium content on FSI, hit the detail button below and sign up on the site. Promise you will not regret it. All right, let's get into this crazy slate. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually first I want to do an overview of all the games and who's playing for what, because I'm not going to spend a ton of time on picks because we know that there's just going to be some news that comes out. I'm going to give a couple of my highlights and then go from there. All right, Brooklyn, Orlando. This game means 0. Both teams are locked in the playoffs, 7 and 8 seed. We know that Brooklyn has already ruled out almost all their team. Orlando's ruled out all their team. I'm actually barely going to go over this game. I'm not going to be on Vooch at all. I think that there's a very good chance that the Magic end up managing his minutes. So if you are a stud in this game, I want nothing to do with you. We'll go back to it, but again, I'm going to go over a quick overview of the games and then back into plays. Houston versus San Antonio. So this game actually matters a little bit for each team. Houston can get all the way up to 3rd with a win. They have ruled out Harden, but Westbrook is going to play. San Antonio is a must-win or they are out. So San Antonio will definitely be playing. I mean, they're pop, so they could actually do whatever, but they definitely are going to be playing. Philly has ruled out almost all their teams. They technically would like to win, but I think at this point Philadelphia is just we just need to get healthy. So maybe we don't see Horford or Harris at all, so we can see the entire Philly starting 5 sitting out. Phoenix must win to stay in. Boston versus Memphis. Nobody cares about this game. I'm sorry. Boston does not care about this game. They haven't ruled anybody out, but there's a 0% chance I target any Boston routes with them having nothing to gain here. Memphis, another team that is a must win. They're in the 8th seed. They're being chased by San Antonio, Portland, and Phoenix. They need to win. Portland and Dallas, both teams have a lot to play for. Dallas can get all the way up to 5. They're currently in 7th place. So with them resting everybody yesterday, I think that Doncic and Zinger will be back for a full load. Portland is a must-win. We know what Dame Dollar does in must-win situations, so he and obviously Nurkic are great plays. Then 2 final games. I'm going to go click on them because I will have very, very minimal exposure. New Orleans, Sacramento, both teams are eliminated. And then the final game of the slate, Milwaukee and Washington. Washington's eliminated. Milwaukee's locked in the 1 seed. So ignoring that. All right, let's get back to the picks now that we went over there. Brooklyn, Orlando, I already told you, if you are over 5K, I am not interested in you in this game. So Vucevic, I've already looked at some optimizers and some projections. He is popping everywhere. I have no interest. I am terrified about his minutes. He is the most important Magic player, so I just think there's a great chance that he just gets limited. So, you go down here. I don't want Augustine. Fultz is popping a little bit. I probably do not want Fultz. I think this is the build you're going to be going today. It's just going to be full star scrubs. So there's going to be so much value. and then we have studs in teams that need wins. So I just see myself going full star scrubs, like multiple 3K players, multiple, 9K plus guys. I think you can do it. Just a couple of names. I literally would be scrolling all the way down here to 3K. So you could see something like Melvin Frazier has shown up with some big games. If for some reason we see Mo Bamba start over Vucevic, like a late news, like I love Mo Bamba. He is just a huge point per minute guy. He's not really in the regular rotation, so he could see plenty of minutes. Gary Clark, funny enough, there's a chance he doesn't play like full minutes because he's kind of an important part of the Magic team now. So I probably wouldn't go him. But Wes Iwundu, we've seen have a huge game. I want to say it was like versus the Lakers before break whenever they rolled everybody out. So that's just kind of a look at some of the Magic guys to target. On the Brooklyn side of things, like we've done this before with Brooklyn, so we kind of know where we could go. Jeremiah Martin. So actually, I have to say this. Like Tyler Johnson's still going to try to show out, but he's too expensive for me on this slate. TLC, we saw have a big game. 3,600 works. Jeremiah Martin, 3,400 is fine. I just don't know if he'll have as many minutes in that tag as you want. Where I'd be looking at is like the 3K guys. So Justin Anderson, we saw in 18 minutes get 10, 16 minutes gets 21. So maybe if he draws to start, we can go him. But like if these guys aren't starting, I'm just not going to mess with it. Musa would be the other guy. All right. I spent too long in that game, considering what we don't know. For Houston, San Antonio, I think it's the big thing that you want to figure out right away is, are you going to play Westbrook? I'm going back and forth just because I don't know how much Houston wants to win this game. I think there's a really good chance that I'm going to do like 5 lines. He'll definitely be in like 1 to 2. But I think right now I'm personally putting Lillard above him. I just need to see how many like stars I'm going to be able to fit. And then, you go down here. I don't want to get the mid-tier, I don't think, for Houston. Like, if I'm going to play McLemore, I may as well just go to Rivers. Like, freaking Austin Rivers, man. Like, it's so funny. I switched around a build. I had landed on him on, Sunday? And I'm like, no, I'm not playing Austin Rivers. If I can get like 300 more for Ben McLemore, shipped it around. Austin Rivers dropped 60 DK, 14 of 20. Like, he's going to get popular. He's playing plenty of minutes, so 32 and 33 the last 2 because of minutes loads. I have no problem with you going back to him. It's whatever. It's just funny. I think that you're probably going to get close to 5x. If I was projecting him, I'd probably say 25 to 30 DK, but he ain't doing 60. Trying to think anybody else on Houston. Like, the good thing with Houston is the minutes. Like, they're just going to be a very condensed side. Again, I think the big decision you're trying to make is, am I going to play or fade Russ Westbrook? I'll just say this. I think he's an elite play. I just think there's a number of elite plays. You just have to decide which one you trust the most. On the San Antonio side of the ball, I think plenty of them are in play, but on my star scrubs type of things that I'm thinking about, I don't think I'm going to land on any. The one thing we know about San Antonio is that they're going to have plenty of people inside the rotation. So I don't think any are musts. But that said, DeRozan's fine. If Derek White misses, I think DeJounte Murray actually becomes a very, very good play. If you find yourself more in the mid-tier, I would really enjoy that at 6,200. I think he has 40-point upside without White. With White in, I'd probably avoid. Jakob Poeltl, just stay away from Jakob Poeltl in this game. With Houston going so small, he's going to get run off the floor, in my opinion. So I worry about his minutes. They could actually play Rudy Gay at the 5. 5,800 is fine for Gay, but just you don't have upside where, some of these 3K guys are going to go for 30 points. Johnson, Walker, Mills, all those guys are fine, but again, not people to focus on. All right, Phoenix side of the ball. I actually have no problem if I land there. Going back to DeAndre Ayton, he's technically rested after yesterday. Hopefully he shows up for his COVID test on time. That was such a tilt for a lot of people. At FSI, we set an alert, so we saw it, got everybody on Booker, which was great. Devin Booker has been sensational in the bubble. He did another 50 last night or yesterday, only 29 minutes because they blew out the Thunder. He's going to get a ton of looks, a ton of ball. He's their best player. They need to win. So I think Devin Booker is one of those studs that you consider today, as is DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton could actually end up just blowing up the slate, in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to want to work him in GPPs. He did 17 and 17 minutes. He's been well above a point per minute guy in the bubble. Philly just could get dark in terms of who they start. I don't think Horford's going to play. Embiid's already out. Simmons is out for the season. I think they're going to sit Tobias Harris. So, when you start looking at who Philly is going to be, trotting out there, probably Kyle O'Quinn in the middle. I'm trying to even just look through the line. Maybe some Mike Scott. Like, it's just not going to be good defenders. Nobody that can match up with Ayton. So I think that's a really, really fine play. In that mid-tier, though, Rubio, Johnson, Bridges, they're all okay, but I think we can avoid. We want to drop below them. On the Philly side of the ball, there is some looks to work on here. Let me get coffee. So I would say if you lose everybody, I think Alex Burks is 1,000% in play, considering the pace that Philly plays at. In the last two games, when Burks has got an opportunity, 28 minutes, 31 DK, 23 minutes, 29 DK, you could easily potentially see him play like 30-plus minutes and just try to take all the shots. Like, he could take 20 shots. So at 4,300, I think that really works in kind of that, it's not full scrubs range, but a very, very nice value play. Shake Milton would also see a big tick up at 5,100, but I don't think he's the price I want. I'm just paying a little bit too much for him when I can get guys to do what he does for cheaper. So that's my opinion on that type of player. Scroll down, Thibault, maybe we'll get some look around cross industry. Issue with Thibault is just, scoring is not his strong suit right now. So he's very defensive, very rebound reliant. I think I can probably get more upside than him, but he's fine play, especially if you're a Sixer fan. Shout out V-Rod if you're watching in our chat, who Sixer for life. I know that he'll be on Thibault, but definitely in like a showdown type of play, he's in there. O'Quinn, I won't be on, even if he gets a start. We know O'Quinn is a points per minute machine, but he just can never play enough minutes. Neto maybe gets to start. He actually, could easily show up like 8-9x here for 3K, so that's fine. Yeah, and then I just will look for lineups. So that's Philly. Boston, we're not going to talk about at all. They're not playing for anything, so we are just Xing them off the player pool. I just don't want to deal with it. Memphis side of the ball, Morant, Valanciunas, both in big spots. Valanciunas draws an elite matchup versus the weak Boston interior. So if you really want to kind of get off chalk, Valanciunas won't be owned at all. Always has massive upside. Morant, it's Ja Morant. Should be rookie of the year. I think he's up there in that tier. I think I put him just below the likes of like Booker, Westbrook, Lillard. Actually, I would probably say significantly below. So I won't be on him. But, he always has slate breaking ability. Just, Memphis is fairly deep. They like to spread the ball around. You've got like Brookses, you've got Valanciunas, you've got Clark, you've got even Kyle Anderson. Like, you got some mouths to feed where it's not all Morant all the time. So, yeah, I don't think a lot of Memphis love for me, but I think from like GPP team, they work. And on like Showdown, I'd be stacking Memphis more so than Boston. All right, Portland, Dallas is going to have a lot of juice. Dallas, don't pay attention to the Luka out sign. He's probable, should be in. I think he could easily be the top stud of the slate. Dallas is playing for stuff. They rested him yesterday. No reason to think that he shouldn't see big run. So the only game that I've rostered had him in cash in this bubble is the 42. So that sucks. But in between there, 89, 83, 65, and another 64. So Luka, to me, is the top play of the slate. Assuming we don't see any sort of minutes restriction, I don't think we will get to know anyhow. But Portland does not play defense. They don't have anybody that can match up with Luka. So there's a great chance that this game could just like be a track meet. Luka and Dame both going for like 60 plus. It could be great. You're not going to have any sort of struggle getting to both. Excuse me. Porzingis, obviously an elite play as well at 8,200. He got to chill last game too, but in the bubble, he has 70, 52, 51, 48. So 4 or 5, over 48 DK with one off game being 36. So love Porzingis, really stretching Nurkic out. Nurkic won't want to go out to the 3-point line. So a lot of pick and rolls with Zinger and Doncic. The rest of the Mavs I can just pass on. I just don't think I need them. There's no reason to sweat that. Portland side of things, Dame Lillard to me is a top play. He may go lesser owned because I think everybody's going to jump to Westbrook, or once Doncic is in, a lot of people jump up to Luka. But Dame Lillard in big games, we've seen him go on runs where he's honestly like one of the best players in DFS. He's kind of getting on that run right now. He had 80 versus Denver, tough game versus LA where he shot 23 times, only put up 34, but then 68.25 versus Philly. I honestly think I'm projecting him for over 60 DK in this matchup versus Dallas. So I really, really like going that way. I also think it's fine to go to Nurkic at 9K. Here's the thing with Nurkic in this matchup. I think, his floor is 40, and he does give you upside up to 60. Whiteside is probable, so maybe you tick down minutes a little bit. I think 9K is tough for Nurk, but I would get it. But I think my top play on Portland side is Lillard. And the rest that McCollum, Anthony, all that, like those are fine. Good for showdown, Trent, but for main slate, it's Lillard or bust for me. All right, New Orleans or Sacramento. Not going to spend much time on this. Everybody's out for New Orleans except for Lonzo Ball. I actually started researching last night. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be a Lonzo day. And now I'm actually terrified to do it just because they're not playing for anything. And maybe he sits out the second half. So I don't think I'll be there, but I can't blame anybody that decides to go there. Where I would like to look for value is someone like I always forget his first name. I think it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'll just call him Nah. But, when he gets minutes, he shoots in boatloads. You're not going to be able to see it. You see 7 shots in 12 minutes versus the Clippers. But talented rookie that can score the ball. I have no problem going that way for value. So 3,200 likely would get the start. Don't play a guy like Redick. I saw him actually popping a few optos and laughed. Just trying to think of anybody on the New Orleans side of the ball. I would just be careful with them. We just haven't seen a lot. Jackson Hayes should see a big run. He's 3,400, so that works. Melly should be back in the rotation, get 3,900. So, yeah, I mean, there's some plays. They're just there's not that much separating them from Brooklyn or Orlando, and you might know those values sooner and not have to wait. Or maybe you want to leave the flexibility. Just know that game is going to be there. It's going to be all value. Sacramento's completely out of it too. So Bogdanovich, I would love to play, but I'm terrified of him, so I will not be on him. Won't be on Buddy Hield. Anybody that has a contract or is making big money, I think we can avoid. I just don't think it's worth the risk. Alex Len could definitely be in play. Kind of a chalk bust last game. We kind of mentioned that could happen because of Houston's small ball lineups. So he would be back in play. Giles is fine. Maybe Jabari Parker shows up. I do want to mention Daquan Jeffries has been playing big minutes and been decent for them. So he saw 25 and 30 the last 2 games, 21 DK versus Houston. He was a great showdown play for us. Yeah, he's going to see a big run. So you could definitely go there. Oh, New Orleans side of the ball, Frank Jackson could easily show up in the big game. Final game of the day, Milwaukee versus Washington. Chances are I have no roster spots by this time personally in any of my lineups. I do not want Giannis. He might be back after the toothache. I don't know. They have no reason to play him. So, could he just see the first half? Sure. He could do 50 in the first half and people tilting their faces off at me and going, why did you say fade Giannis? And then he doesn't play the second half. So I just don't want to risk. I have Lillard, I have Harden, I have Westbrook, I have Ayton, I have Booker, I have Porzingis. I have all these studs that I can play in my lineup that are playing for stuff. Why do I need to play the guy that has a toothache that sat out yesterday and is playing for nothing? I just don't need to do it. That is my take on the slate. And on Washington's side of the ball, I've just been getting Washington wrong so much. The good thing that we do know, last slate is, even though they were eliminated, they still played their starters pretty decent minutes. But these prices are just weird. There's no values. There's no value at Bryant at 73 or Brown at 6,000. Ish Smith at 5,300 is fine. All these guys are fine, just not elite, not must plays. All right, that's going to do it. I hope that this helps. I hope that my strategy and thoughts on the slate make some sense to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at GatorGuy231, or you can shout out comments on the YouTube page. Have it linked to my phone, so I'll always be answering if you have questions. Good luck today. Take it easy.